The woman threw down her engagement ring and walked into the airport. She chose to escape the 8-year-long anticipated wedding. Her fiance, who was at the wedding venue, realized she hadn't shown up. He called her, but she hung up on him directly. She was completely disappointed in the fiance she had been in a relationship with for 8 years. This happened 3 days ago. At that time, they were hosting clients at a clubhouse for their company. The woman was allergic to Coke, but she kept drinking one cup after another for the clients. When she couldn't drink anymore, the secretary, pretending to be kind, offered to help. But her fiance, worried about the secretary's weak constitution, thinks that women's health is better, drink Coke is fine. He insisted that she continue to drink Coke with the clients. After drinking the Coke, the woman felt extremely uncomfortable. The secretary just mentioned feeling dizzy from staying up late, and her fiance immediately picked her up to go to the hospital. Totally ignored the woman's Coke allergy causing a stomach perforation. As she watched them leave, the woman felt like an outsider. She collapsed and fainted. When she woke up, she found herself in a hospital bed. She thought her fiance had brought her to the hospital. However, the nurse scolded the fiance for letting her drink too much Coke. She was lucky that a kind person had found her and sent her to the hospital. Otherwise, she might not have survived. The nurse urged the woman to call her fiance to come to the hospital. The woman thought her fiance might be busy with the company. At that moment, a message notification popped up on her phone. She saw that her fiance was with the secretary. He called to explain that the secretary had gotten drunk and needed to be taken care of, telling the woman not to overthink things. Then, her fiance postponed their marriage registration to 6 months later. The woman felt deeply hurt upon hearing this. They had been together for 8 years. This was the 99th time her fiance had refused to register their marriage. Now, she had no hope left for him. So, she took off the engagement ring and threw it into the trash can without hesitation. She then called her family and agreed to the marriage arrangement with the heir of the Gu family. The next day, she forced herself to pack her luggage, feeling unwell. When she walked in, she saw the secretary lying on her fiance. Her fiance didn't think anything was wrong, and even said the secretary was unwell and needed to be taken care of at home. To the woman, it no longer mattered. She was about to go to her room to rest and leave the next day. But then, her fiance asked her to make stomach kanji for the secretary, saying the secretary's stomach was upset. Unable to bear it anymore, the woman pulled out the hospital diagnosis form. Her fiance looked at the diagnosis and said that alcohol allergy wasn't a big deal. He even blamed the woman for purposely causing trouble because she was unhappy about him bringing the secretary home. At that moment, the secretary pretended to feel unwell, and the fiance immediately supported her into the bedroom. The woman was heartbroken. She called the heir of the Gu family and decided to go to Hong Kong for the arranged marriage the next day. The next morning, she woke up and didn't see her fiance, thinking he had gone to work. But when she went downstairs, she saw her fiance making breakfast for the secretary. That's when she realized her fiance wasn't incapable of cooking. He simply didn't want to cook for her. Then, she noticed her fiance's clothes in the secretary's room. The secretary said she had felt unwell the previous night, and the fiance had stayed by her side to take care of her, asking the woman not to misunderstand. Upon hearing this, the woman was furious and ready to leave. Her fiance quickly stopped her, saying that although they had postponed the wedding registration, the wedding would still go on tomorrow as planned. To calm her down, he took out a gift that had already been prepared. When the woman saw the gift, which was the same as the previous 2 times, she knew her fiancé hadn't put any thought into it. He said that the invitations had already been sent out, so the wedding had to continue. But this time, the woman had truly lost all hope. At the wedding, the host repeatedly asked the bride to come out, but the woman never showed up.